What's up, guys? Welcome to another podcast, TCG Scrubs podcast, or whatever you want to call it. It was last week we did a podcast. I'm struggling with this intro. I can't even remember what we normally say. Colin is in a new background here. I have all his equipment with me still from when I went to go stream the GP this past weekend. Excuse him and his dogs making lots of sounds.
The audience can't actually hear that, Oscar. Don't worry about it.
Oh, they can't?
No, I muted myself.
Oh.
Melissa's mic doesn't have a mute button, so I have to do it inside OBS.
Okay. But anyways, welcome to the podcast. I'm Oscar, and I'm with the usual dude. So Team ARG's Colin, and Joe of Joe's Corner, which we'll be seeing a new corner soon, right? Since I
hope so.
We had these results. You said it was the same format over and over again. I'm tired. There's nothing new to talk about. Now you have it, and it's pretty exciting. We're gonna discuss some of it today, but not like I want to hear. I want to see your video come out so you can get like more stuff about it. But,
no, I am pretty excited to bring up some stuff and get my thoughts out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, before we get too far, can definitely say thanks to Happy Little Hug Factory for always making videos we do here possible, like the box opening we did just the other day. They sponsored that. And if you guys are looking for singles or sealed product, actually I don't think they have sealed product, but singles. I'm sure they'll have singles up here soon. I know that they have some posted on TCG Player already. I don't know if they've updated the website yet, but visit them at Happy Little. Actually, link in the description below so they know we sent you over. And
also,
Colin always does that. He always interrupts you.
Yeah, I know.
In the middle of your spiel.
And you know what? And you know what though, real quick. Sometimes, not all times. I don't know if this would be this occasion right now. Sometimes I'm not even done talking. Like I'm okay. Oh, no. I got point A, B, C, and D to make about Happy Little Hug Factory. I'm on point A and B. He jumps in and he's like, "Oh, and also, guys." No. Oscar. No. Hold on. I'm not done. Point A and B. He'll jump in and be like, "Oh yeah, guys, don't forget C and D." And I'm like, I was about to get to that.
No. Oscar does this thing where for the first 37 podcasts that he was introing, he would either forget or ask me to jump in because he knew he would forget on point C and D. So he forced me into this habit. And if I don't jump in, every single time that I decide, oh yeah, Oscar will get mad, I won't jump in, he forgets every time. Then I got back. All right, let's real quick backtrack to where we were, Oscar. Let's backtrack.
So go ahead, Colin. C and D it right now. C and D it.
No, I'm moving on to the next one, which is Play DKP or DPK. I always mix that up.
DKP accessories.
So they actually have a really awesome thing he told me about. So right now, as you guys know, if you go to their website and you can use code TCG to get 5% off your order for the playmats, and they also have an option now to buy two at the same time. It's the same price, but you save on shipping, and they also have the inserts that you can buy separately for $5 for 60 or so, I believe. But right now they have a Memorial Day sale. So right now all shipping is just half off in addition to the 5% off from our coupon. And they let me pull up these so I don't get the wording mixed up.
Colin, you can't type stuff. Don't even try.
I'm not typing. What? I'm not Joey.
Your keyboard is broken.
I'm not. I'm on my phone. But they let me. They want to let you guys know that the first 25 people to use that code TCG to get 5% off, to get a playmat with the half off shipping, will also get an extra 60 magnetic inserts for free. Ooh. So, nice. First 25 people who head over there, use our code. You not only get the playmat, 5% off, half off shipping, but in addition to the 60 sleeves it comes with, you get an additional 60, so you can sleeve up a minimum of 2 decks right off the bat, which is pretty awesome. So make sure you guys do that. It's really awesome. On the go type of thing to use. Now that Oscar's back from we got pretty tied up in the last minute. We're gonna go stream a GP, or Oscar's gonna go stream a GP. But now that we're free again, we'll actually film that video with those playmats.
We were super busy and getting stuff ready and going over checklists to make sure I wasn't gonna forget anything. Doing a couple of test runs and even through all of that, stuff still went wrong. But I don't know how much of that you guys actually saw besides the microphone issues, which I still don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah, which we'll go over some of that here in the podcast.
Yeah. I would just like to say, like, backtracking like a minute ago, I loved the commercial of that you and Colin did for the magnetic playmat, and and you're like, I can't get these damn these cards off. This magnetic playmat's so good.
How did those go over? I was
and I was never there. Cause I would turn it on and walk away to figure out what my next match was gonna be.
I saw like maybe like two. I saw mine, and I don't think it, like I think I got like what the hell just happened, and then I saw your guys' and I don't remember if chat said anything, but I thought they were hilarious.
Yeah.
But if people wondering if you didn't see those are skits we filmed that will be on the channel. I edited them super quick to go on there, but there'll be one other skit. Or, I mean, there'll be a couple other skits we haven't filmed yet that'll go in there as well. And I'm gonna touch them up a little bit more. I just had to rush those. But you guys will see those in the coming weeks. But I just wanted to throw those together real quick.
You can definitely put mine up, because I thought mine was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. We could do Joey's on his own.
So we'll throw Joey's up, and I'll just leave that what's it called? 16-bit music going on it. But just know that he did intend for it to be the music from the commercials for Dos Equis. But obviously copyright issues. We don't want to throw that up. But y'all guys can put it together when y'all watch it. This is the longest intro ever. We keep just jumping in and talking about it. So also, guys, check out patreon.com/TCG Scrubs. Yeah, Colin's like, oh yeah, that's right.
We'll have a mini podcast talking about one of my favorite subjects, so be sure to tune into that.
And everybody there helps a lot of stuff happen as well. We didn't just get funding from Vite Ramen, we did, and we also got some funding from some patrons as well who were really awesome. And so check it out. And I know we're trying to upgrade some equipment such as microphones, which upgrading the microphones, it's not we're trying to get like the better sound. We're actually trying to get other options, such as like a podcast type thing on the road. So if we ever go to another GP, we can do a podcast live somewhere else, where we can get a special guest who's there. Maybe somebody like, hey, talk to Mike Rance or something like that. Or it also helps solve the issue that
I feel like that would be Mike Rance in the corner being like, hey, talk to Mike Rance.
Probably. But it would also help in situations where if you guys saw the live stream, we can use that same equipment on the live stream to make that audio much better from having the popping, cracking, or even cutting out sound that we were getting. I'm not sure what it was because I was on the other end of it and I never really went back to rewatch the streams, really.
We had that soundboard donated by a patron, so that we already have that. That's the big bulk out of the way. So it's really just those microphones or like the headsets that Jeremy uses. Those are super nice as well. So it's
I kind of just wanted to do the microphones. The headsets are cool, but yeah. Shout out to Hooflung who helps to donate that sound mixer we have. And XLR cables, so we need the microphones and
Jeremy's new headset is pretty nice though.
Oh no, they're super nice. I just kind of want to just go with microphones rather than just this whole headset thing.
I'm gonna have to send you guys mine at some point. I had forgotten all about it, and then get that going.
But on that same subject though, also huge once again. Thanks and shout out to Vite Ramen for sending Oscar out there. That was super awesome of them, and is the reason you guys had that stream at all was because of them. And he also gave away a crap ton of ramen at the event. So.
Yeah, I think by the time everything was just said and done and prizing was given out of the ramen and all that stuff happened, I think it was just like a box with like 10 or 12 ramen packs left over, and they're just handing them out to employees at the store type situation. But yeah, it was super awesome. Like, I have a picture. I'll throw it up here. Let me write down this timestamp so I don't forget this, so it's easier for me for when I edit later. But they had a entire table just completely full of Vite ramen, which was hilarious.
I saw that.
Yeah.
You shared it.
We'll just throw up some random photos here while we talk about the GP this weekend. So yeah, Vite Ramen helped get me there, and it's super awesome with them. Hopefully we can do some more stuff with them in the future. But GP, it was a Bethlehem WGPQ in Pennsylvania at the Portal Games and Books, I believe it's called, which is a really cool shop. It was, but I think they had enough space to seat 48 is what I heard, and had a DDR machine like right there. Everybody was joking around about just having top 8 be figured out by DDR.
By DDR.
Yeah.
Oh boy. It
was a lot of fun. So I live streamed it, and I learned a lot on the go. Sometimes, it's a situation where it's like something's wrong. You have to figure it out. Every second feels like an hour. It's like, Oscar, the camera is not working, or Oscar, we're getting a cracking sound, and I'm like, I don't know what any of this means, or I don't know how to fix that. Click, 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 click. Oh, it's fine now. And like, if you guys watch the stream, and I seemed quiet at times, or I didn't answer Ryan when he was talking to me, it's because I'm trying to watch the game. I'm trying to listen to Ryan. I'm looking at the chat, but then on my phone as well, Joey and Colin are on there, like with more.
Oh, don't
responses.
act like you were looking at your phone. Get out of here.
At a certain point, I had to pull it up.
Don't act
and
like
it's
it was
very
Joey
difficult.
and Colin. It was 90% me.
Yeah, I would argue it is 90% Joey, 10% Colin. But Colin
it was
did
80% Joey. I literally was literally like weed whacking, and I would stop, pull out my phone, and take like a 2-minute break. And when you weed whack it, the vibration messes you up. So I'm holding my phone like, type. And Joey's like, Colin, why aren't you helping more? I'm like, I'm in so much pain, Joey. I'm at maximum potential right now. And I'm still, from yard work, I messed myself up. So I was like, yeah.
It was funny. If a face cam was on, you would have seen me like, and Ryan's talking, and I'm in charge of changing the life change totals, and Ryan's just like, he took 600, and Ryan's is like, he took 600. And he looks at me and then stares at me for a second. Oh yeah, sorry. 600. Click, click, click.
See, and that was unfortunately one of the side problems. What Oscar was saying, it sort of goes back to the whole film ideology. Joey and I learned of like, just anything you're bringing to like film on a shoot, just assume it's going to break. Assume it's not going to work. So you don't want to bring backups. You want to bring like triple backups for stuff. Like Joey and I would go and film just like a tiny little thing that doesn't matter, and be like, all right, and okay, battery's broken. It just doesn't hold a charge anymore. So okay, and I don't think we ever had a shoot where something wasn't broken, but on the stream, how good?
Yeah, I was gonna say it was really bad, but I've found going forward, like, it's more the quality of, like, you have to bring stuff that's like nice quality that is like gonna work. Like, I haven't really had that problem a whole lot with like this, like during work and stuff. I kind of go out and I bring like PowerPoints and computers, and I hook them up like on an HDMI, and then and I have a little PowerPoint presenter. Oh my gosh, what's it? Anyways, I found that stuff has worked consistently, and I've never really had it like go down. But in during filming, it was just awful. It was all like constant. So I think you just need like some really nice equipment and stuff that isn't going to break.
He's calling your equipment bad, Oscar.
I'm saying that certain parts of it were lacking.
Point.
But yeah,
I was saying like it was already in like my mind that I wish I had more backup equipment, but like it was already limited to how much space I can have in my suitcase to travel on a plane to get there.
Yeah, ideally you would have 2 people going, which in turn would also mean 2 suitcases. But what I was going to say though, for Oscar keeping scores, we actually did have a thing set up where we were going to be able to have the people at the table tapping and keeping score, and that would update on the screen. And because it was not like anything crazy. It wasn't like a code we made. We were just regular screen capturing and broadcasting it. But by doing that, we also had a side thing of like, if Oscar and Ryan were watching, and Ryan was like, oh wait, they misplayed that, Oscar could literally hit a button and the tablet would completely turn red, and so the people at the table know to stop playing and wait to figure out what was going on and stuff. It was a whole cool thing, and it all hinged on there being an outlet within 15 feet of the table, which apparently there was not. I was like, really? All right, I guess
Well,
the backup plan should have been to bring a giant battery pack that plugged in, but we would have needed a converter because the power outlet for the tablet is an actual power strip, not a plug. So it would have been a whole conversion thing, but that goes back to the backup. Like, we had the tablet, and it had to have a plug, and in case there wasn't a plug there, we would get an extension cord for up to like 12 feet or whatever, and that didn't work, so we would have had to add a third backup plan, which would have been like a giant-ass battery pack.
Yeah.
Would have been the third.
I'm really surprised that like you guys didn't bring one of those like heavy-duty extension cables that goes up to like, I don't know, 50 or like 50 feet or 30 feet.
It becomes a hazard at that point.
And I just have that's a super thick cable that would take the suitcase up alone. Like, my suitcase was packed full of wires and equipment to take on this trip, and each one of those was used. There's nothing. And besides a tablet and a tablet's charger cable, that was my only waste of space on this trip, and that was only because I didn't know there wouldn't be an outlet nearby that I could use.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I feel like I don't know how packed your suitcase was, but as far as like the whole hazard thing, that's why like I think you would have needed to bring like duct tape or tape.
I did
tape down the wire
because there was wires going across the floor, and they had one restroom for the whole store. It was in the back, so they would have to cross where the wire would go across, because it was like a table and it would cross a pathway and go into the room. So I actually had it all covered with duct tape, but
exactly.
The size of cable or extension cord needed to get to the outlet would have been like, oh, I filled up the entire suitcase by itself, so I need a second one for all the equipment now, type of thing. Because those are thick. That's a thick cable.
They're not that thick. They're like
a 50-foot one. Yes, it is a 50-foot one. Now I took with me I think a 15-foot one, and it's not large at all. It was like bundled up like this, like real small, and I wrapped it up. I took it with me because I needed it. I ended up needing that because of the setup of the room I was in and getting all the things plugged in, like the laptop and the USB hub that it had and things like that, and TV as well that Todd had took with him. So also shout out to Todd Dreisbach. I hope I'm saying that last name correctly, for one, giving me lifts everywhere I needed to go, and then 2, for running an awesome event, 3, for bringing that TV, and also for always being in communication with me for, what we wanted to pull up for the next round, or when time was called, because there's a couple of issues. I think there was only one issue in one game, I think, where time may have been called, but we didn't know, and there's no judge there for stream or anything like that. So I think it may have gone like a couple extra minutes than it was supposed to, and then switched the rounds.
Started.
Yeah. But it wasn't like it went 10, 15 minutes, like probably like 2 or 3 minutes, and which Ryan said the excuse was just time extensions due to another issue that had come up. I think they had a late start or something like that. But it wasn't a problem any time after that, just because most of the games after that either ended really early or we had time going with Todd where he was communicating with me. So
Todd was he was doing a lot for this event as well, just separate from help, and then on the side he was helping Oscar with the stream in addition to helping with the event. So that was awesome of him.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun though. A lot of stuff learned.
I was really happy with the quality of it. For you having no access to a light diffuser or anything, there was like minimal glare, and it was a nice HD picture of the gameplay. Like, I could actually read what some of the cards were and see some of them, and I could see. I was gonna say I could see improvements layout wise, especially for when the camera was back on you and a co-commentator. We could definitely make that way more visually appealing. We should add a background music track when you guys are commentating, because otherwise it sounds kind of dead a bit, and it's hard to tell when the video freezes or you guys just don't have anything to say.
Yeah.
But with no background audio, like just white noise of people playing and stuff, it felt kind of dead. So there's little things like that I saw off the bat that could be improved.
Yeah. I did have an audio track. I actually forgot to set that up completely, and I had it with me right there. I could just click and had it done. I was going to say something. I already forget because of how far along this other idea
was it. The background, because I thought they definitely could have improved on the little background behind you guys.
Yeah, so some things that I noticed was, like, one, I think a tripod for the webcam facing us would have been better, because I had it set up on the top of the TV. The TV was pretty tall. 2, a light. Of course, that's a lot of space to take a light, because it was just ceiling lights. So it kind of came off as, like, this, to me, this dark kind of shadowy thing.
Yeah,
because the light wasn't hidden directly the way it needed to hit us. And then lastly was when we were streaming, I think it was the last round. I'd walk away to go find the next matchup, which was machines. We come back and I'm like, cool, yeah. They were already over near the table, and I was like, yeah, just sit there and start streaming. They're like, oh, but and I look, and there's some 6 people just showed up to sit at the table, and they're playing some board game, and they're setting it up, and they moved the tripod completely out of the way. And so I was like, oh my god, like we're streaming here, and they're cool. They left, they walked away, but I had to set the webcam up again.
They were not cool. If you physically touch something that's not yours,
they're cool to leave, is what I'm saying. But yeah, it was a struggle at that point.
You're giving them too much
to reset the camera up again. And round started, like they needed to set up and start playing. And so I'm sitting there struggling, just trying to get this. So if you look at the final round, it's a crooked angle. You can tell really. Yeah. You can tell, and there's glare. I had it perfect until that last round, and then that last round had glare on one of the sides.
Sucks.
Yeah. But I don't know. It was a crazy. I looked and I looked up. I saw him at the table, and I looked up, and I saw that the camera was pushed away. I was like, oh my god. It was like a small panic attack.
No, that's really crap. Especially because like you've got playmats lined up, you've got like a camera pointing down at them. That's pretty ridiculous. But
cool part is
like anyone who plays games can look at that and know what's happening. Like that, if they're playing board games and they're in that big of a shop, they know what's happening.
And they're playing on the playmats, by the way. They didn't move that at all.
What? Okay, those are just assholes at that point. Those are straight up assholes.
But on the playmats, I thought it was super cool because we've seen live streams in the past, and somebody will bust out their own playmat on top of what was already there. I thought it was pretty cool. Everybody just played with our playmats the entire time. I was like, oh, nice.
Oh, did they? Nice.
Yeah.
That was some really nice, like, I felt like, you know, as like the little like little bit of like sellout-y like our like the branding and Vite Ramen was really like on point. Like
yeah.
I wish so the only thing I'd say also, like, you guys needed to improve on like selling the experience. Like, okay guys, don't like go away, we have some really cool commercials coming up or something, or guys like check out this cool commercial from Joe or something like that, or this little Vite Ramen bit.
I'd agree with that as well. It was just like I walked into a situation where I was like, okay, I've never done this before. And it was just like pushed into it like super hard. I was like, click this, that. Like, Bill was there. What's up, Bill? I know you're listening. Hi. Which I got to meet him, which was super cool. We've talked online for a while, especially on Discord. And I wish I had more time to actually talk to him, or even maybe like if we had time afterwards to play a game, because I know he drove out to the event, and it was just so fast. Everything was just like boom, boom, boom. And if I wasn't talking to Todd, figuring out next matchup in a small time frame, I was like on the phone with you guys figuring out this giveaway we had to do. We had to do 5 giveaways for the Vite Ramen packs, and
that was so frustrating.
I was like either always on my phone or doing something, and I don't know. It was super fast.
It was so frustrating, like hearing like the little clicking and like the whole mics, and trying to like remotely like diffuse stuff and try and like troubleshoot stuff from halfway across the country. It's like, well, like try and like pull the wire tight or like loop it around so it's not like stressing the port and stuff.
I was doing everything. I was like, okay, the one time that something came up is I remember I moved the cord, something happened, and I moved the cord again to where it was like covered, and I was like, oh shit, it's covered. I had to move it again, and I was like, I'm gonna completely remove it from the situation. So it was on its own, completely by itself. It wasn't adding stress to the port at all. And whenever you're like, it's doing it again, I'm like, I don't know. I really don't know what to do at this point.
Yeah, this is a situation where it would have been good to have 2 people there because work on it. Yeah. Like in hindsight, me thinking about it, like I bet you the mic might have just been not pulling enough power from the laptop. But like I might have, like if someone else was there, you have 2 people. It's hard to, but it's what people always say is like if you have 2 people there, you're just more likely to figure out what's wrong because. You're not gonna. If I hear Oscar say, "Oh, it could," let me try looping it. in my head I'm going to be like, all right, Oscar's probably wrong. Let me think of it to something else.
Yeah, see.
Whereas Oscar's like, this is totally it.
You know what's funny is everything that happened that may have either gone wrong or could have gone better. I was like, God, if like Colin or Julie were here, that's like 10 different ideas just spitballing off each other. We would have solved this like an hour ago or something like that. Like all those things kept going through my head. I was like, it's just me.
Well, see, okay. So the reason that I like was harping on the whole clicking thing and stuff is I think it was like 2 podcasts ago where I did something. It wasn't the commercial, and it was something else, but I heard that same clicking on my own Yeti, and I was pretty sure it's because I didn't have it like I had the wire like laying down, like I thought it was like de-stress and stuff, but I like looped it around and it fixed everything. And so when I heard like clicking on there,
yeah,
I knew exactly what it was, and I knew what I did fixed mine, but I was like how do you guys like? I was like grabbing my because I have my Yeti mic on a well, I'm not gonna actually touch it, but it's on a little boom stand, and so I have the little stand, and I like brought this out, and I was trying to like grab wires and be like, how could you like make this sure that this isn't like stress? And I was like sitting there at my stupid table going like, oh gosh, this is so frustrating. Like if only I was there, I could do work this around and stuff, and then we have somebody else like listening the whole time and stuff.
To me, a perfect setup is 3 people. 3 people streaming. You have 2 commentating, and that's what they're focusing on. And the third person is the computer person who's changing graphics, if they need to update scores or updating scores, keeping track of time, pulling up card images. I agree that pulling up card images would have been fantastic. Like we talked about it leading up to this. There was not enough time to go through and save every image and catalog it and then figure out how it's going to pull up easily. That's the only reason why we didn't do it, and I replaced it with just a chat system, which the chat system ended up working out really well because everybody who commentated with me was able to look at it while we're watching the game on the spot and be like, oh yeah, so and so this and that, as opposed to having to be like over here looking at my laptop, which not even my laptop, it was my cousin, so shout out to my cousin, he's not listening, for letting me use that. And because I didn't know how to turn up the brightness on that. I didn't look into it. I'm sure it was just like control function and hit the bright button or whatever, but
yeah, it's usually one of the F.
Yeah. So it was just like it was useful in that situation, but like I just feel like 3 people is like the perfect amount. Like whether it's the 3 of us or if it's like Jeremy, Colin, and me, and I would totally volunteer to be the computer guy because commentating gameplay is not my strong suit at all. Like by far. Like you guys have done it on the channel before, and I have not done it for that same exact reason. Like yeah, I can sit there and give my opinion on things, but like if you were listening, like when either Ryan was there or even Michael was there. Actually, all of the commentators, Stephanie, Cal, they give the commentating that like when I go to watch one of these live streams that I'm looking for to tell me the things that I'm not realizing or any of those types of situations. So me being there, I was just like, oh yeah, you're right, Ryan. How much damage was that, by the way? That was a crazy card.
It's something we talked about where, yeah, I agree. Two commentators who just focus on that, and then you have a tech person, and then like our ideas are like you could also, that third person can then walk the floor and do live stuff in between games, and that person can also find matches, set stuff up in between of like side games. There's a lot of, you're freed up a lot by going to 2 people, and then when you go to 3 people, you're pretty much on a professional level of things that you are able to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're limited. When you're one person, as you saw with Oscar, but and it's basically just a lot of multitasking. So Jeremy's really good at multitasking, so he's able to commentate and throw up the card images and all those different things. And
he's done so many of these, like that experience has built up, and you can see it, with all the streams he does, even more recently. Like, everything's just getting better and better, but it was an experience, and I knew just based on my like what I could do commentating. I was like, in the finals game, I'm definitely gonna find some other people to commentate. And so Mike had joined me. I asked him to join me for like the finals, like not finals. What would it be? Top 8, and then it broke down to top 4. He joined me at top 4.
Semifinals.
Yeah, semifinals. And then on the right before the finals, Cal had walked in the room, and I was like, Cal, jump in. You guys can commentate this, because Cal knew Derek, and Derek was in the finals, so I knew it was going to work out really well.
Yeah.
And it did, because he was calling it. He's like, oh, I know his deck. He's going to need to find this and do this. It's actually really well done.
Yeah,
and he was excited to do it. And he, before he left, he was super awesome. And I had told Con, because the playmats for the GP, which he gave me which I thought was really cool, are only for top 8, and it used to be attendance based. So I knew I wasn't gonna get one. And he said, "Here, you can have mine. I have 4 already." I was like, "Thank you. This is so cool. I've been wanting one so bad." But yeah.
Yeah, it's really like I think casting is so difficult, and actually commentating and commentating well. Like there's a lot of practice that goes into bouncing chemistry off of the other person. You know, ask them, "Hey Jim, what do you think?" Da 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 da. And then Jim's like, "Oh well, I think this and this and this," and
rallying each other in before one goes too far on a tangent type situation.
Exactly, and all at the same time, you have to be paying attention to what's going on on the stream and actually commentating what's happening in the gameplay. Something that I noticed, I don't want to put anybody on the spot, but I noticed like Stephanie kind of I noticed it with Stephanie a little bit. She would get kind of caught up in reading chat and responding to chat, and which is great, but there was stuff going on. People were playing cards, and it's you guys need to be commentating what's happening on screen.
And that's just, I know what you're talking about. This is distracting too, because I remember when she was doing it and talking about her experiences in a game that she had that day that applied to whatever somebody asked. Maybe 3 swings happened and I missed life total completely. Next thing I know, I'm like, oh, the game 1's over. Okay,
yeah, we're
going to game 2 now.
Well, and that's and that's something I'll see with. I remember watching League of Legends streams, and the commentators would start talking about something, and a fight would happen on screen, and then this fight would be over, and I'd be like, wait, I need to know, I could see the results of the fight, but I kind of want to know the specifics, why did that person do that, and what made them lose that engagement,
and just hype people too.
It's easy for I get pretty distracted by the chat as well when I stream with Jeremy and stuff. I really like interacting with the chat and stuff, so it's good to have I think the ideal is to have one person who likes interacting with the chat and one who doesn't. So you have the person who doesn't like interacting needs to be the more assertive of the two. And when you have that combo, I think that's a perfect combo of community engagement, but being very assertive of following the game. Oscar's not assertive, but so I think it's important to follow the chat and interact with it, but not get distracted by it.
Yeah. Oscar's a SpongeBob and he's be plankton. And there's also I think one of those two also needs to be like a hype man of oh my gosh, he just played Laura, and then League of Legends, as Colin was pointing out, they have one person who's kind of the color commentator and stuff, and they're it's oh my gosh, this guy just used this one, and they start doing just play by play, and in a card game it's not really the same thing. You definitely have to have someone who's in depth kind of going into cards and oh well, he has a couple of outs, he can draw to this, and then you have somebody who's just excited when somebody plays something, and that the whole Keurig matchup in semifinals, Oscar, I think, was a really, really tight game. It was really close, and both of you guys were kind of quiet, waiting, just what's gonna happen, which was also cool. But yeah, it was really cool, and commentating is pretty difficult.
Yeah, it is.
But
we've talked about this for a while now, about 30 minutes in this podcast of just how things went. But overall, experience was fun.
Real quick, it was only 20 minutes. 10 minutes was the intro.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Overall, it was a lot of fun. I learned a lot. I got several messages from different directions, both leading up to it, saying, "Hey, you got this. I'll check it out later," or just breathe. You can do it. For some people to like after the event being like, "Hey, it was great. It was awesome. Did this great. I liked this feature you had that, maybe when they watch Jeremy they don't have normally and stuff like that." So it was cool. And also Jeremy was a real big help. He was also messaging me along with you guys when during it, like, hey, try this, change this setting in your audio, do this too, and so I was like trying to find some of these settings like between breaks and things like that. So
yeah, that was really difficult.
Yeah, there's a lot of help coming in to make things as much as we can make it better. But I was also super exhausted after day one. Like Mike's like, let's go get pizza, and then like some guys are like, let's go draft a cube, and I'm just like, I have a headache. I kind of just wanted to go back to the hotel.
Wow.
but I'll go.
Granted, I didn't do as obviously as much as Jeremy, but like we did that stream, and then I was out doing stuff till like way later than I should have, and then.
Did you also have a break? Didn't you have like a break for a round or two, like in the middle of somewhere, where you guys go eat? I didn't. I had to do it straight through. Also,
no, you left you just said you had Cal take over for a bit.
No, that was day 2. Day 1, and day 1 was just straight meat. I was supposed to be up at 8 to get ready.
Jeremy and I both got food, and it was only because I think it was an IU match, so it only lasted like 15 or 20 minutes. So we're like, all right, we're gonna get food now.
Okay.
Colin
mine
like
real
an
quick.
Actual commentating break though too.
Yeah, I'm saying obviously Oscar and Jeremy did more. I'm just giving Oscar a hard time.
I'm just saying.
He likes to go to bed at 11
I'm just trying to set this up here.
Stuff.
I'm trying to give you an idea here. It's like, one, I was supposed to be up at 8 to meet Todd at 8:30 to go over there. I woke up at 8:38 to my phone ringing. Todd being like, "Hey, you ready to go, man?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, on my way." And by the way, he called the hotel up and he went inside and had them ring me to get a hold of me.
Yeah.
Todd's the hero.
So I got up and had to go. Didn't even get they had free breakfast there. I didn't even get to get any of the free breakfast at this hotel.
Oh.
Got in the car, took off, and then streamed the entire day. I didn't eat till that pizza, or actually I got spaghetti, but we went to a pizza place with Mike.
That's the main thing that gets me up when I'm like at a hotel or anything. I'm like, I have to, because if I don't, I won't get my free breakfast. And that's like super important. That's like the main reason I'm able to like wake up with my alarm when I'm at a hotel.
All right, so Oscar, what was your like favorite like moment / matchup like / thing that?
Okay, yeah. So this is gonna get into the whole like kind of like semi-meta discussion. We're not gonna tread too far in it, 'cause I know you're gonna do your Joe's Corner here soon, before the end of the week. But set you up on that. Game 1, he goes, "Hey, go pick Seal." And because I know the guy is going to play Seal, it's going to be an interesting matchup, which the guy was happy he did well in the stream and won the game.
Yeah,
but
that was
I saw the combo. I was like, and Ryan's just like, okay, yep, he's going to do this. He's going to that. And yep, here comes the stone. And I was like, I didn't even think about this. And it's Alter, Layla, Power of Immortality.
Mm-hmm.
I
saw that same combo. Oscar, I had the same reaction.
Yeah.
I for some reason I was telling Oscar like the sequence of events was the card was spoiled, the altar, and I was like,
yeah,
oh yeah, that could be decent. Sack mechanics are nice, and then I played it at Prelude, so I was like, oh shoot, this is halfway decent, in a different format. This actually could be really good. And I saw the Layla combo, I was like, oh no, oh no, I didn't. For some reason, it never clicked. Like those two things. Granted, I very rarely even like look at dark decks, but like that should have clicked.
It should have, because I was like, okay, this isn't just a one-off shot of some dude who figured it out. Ryan already knew, and then every dark deck I think that we saw for the rest of the day that we put up on stream was running it. Or people were talking about other decks that were running it. So I was like, oh wow, I'm like so out of sync of this. What's going on.
It's definitely like I completely agree. Like I'm not in the whole meta and stuff either, and so when I saw that first like played out, it was something like Layla, Power of Immortality, Layla, and then like he played like one more Layla or something and got up to 5. I think tokens and then sacked it and brought in Athena, and then he destroyed like 2 or 3 stones. It's like, oh my gosh, that's so nasty. I was like,
the Carrick Lucifer matchup was very interesting. I think it was one on finals with Joey versus Steven Team Rogue matchup. Yeah, and which was like Steven destroyed like 2 of his like 3 stones that he was using, that he was forcing Joey to start calling stones instead of like tapping to gain counters to do all his searches, which was very interesting.
And it was something I was telling Oscar, like because I had said that I don't think I thought the additions in the set were good, but that doesn't matter because the addition destruction is passive, so that stops additions from happening. But this addition avoids that, because if someone sacks Messenger, for example, to destroy this the altar, in response you just banish a couple of your 1-drops, put counters on it, and then banish the addition to go grab your Resonator anyway. So you're still, even if it's a minimal effect, you're going to get your money's worth out of it no matter what. So it's I didn't think of that as well, that the banish is it's instant. And it's the ability to put stuff on it is instant and used whenever you want. And even if you didn't get counter effects from it, the combat tricks or anti-combat tricks and stuff like that alone is good. Like, you literally essentially cancel the new Isis Master rune is canceled. You can just in response banish it and none of the damage happens. You can if someone swings in with Drain, has an Alborozuki or something and swings in with Drain into one of your Resonators to kill it and Drain, in response you banish it, they don't get to gain any life, and they've got, if it's Alborozuki, now they're down a counter. There's like so many like really good, sorry about my cat, good benefits of the card, and then in addition you also get a free Resonator. It's like, I don't know, none of that fully clicked for me until seeing those matches.
And it's like, exactly, yeah. I did not see like the strength and power of it until watching this the whole GP and stuff. And it's like, even just like a really low, I have 3 counters on it, you can still get like great stuff. Like, you can still get Astema who comes in and drains for 5 and then draws you cards. It's like, even at 3 counters, which is not difficult to get to with the whole Layla and Power of Immortality stuff, like, it's really crazy good.
Even just one, like, you're at 1 counter, you sack it, cool, I'm gonna go grab a Layla real quick, it's like, it was a very cool interaction to, have that be my first experience of like seeing it happen for the first time, and just being like, oh my gosh, like, I think the 2 things I said the most over the entire day was, one of being like, I didn't expect that combo, like, I didn't see that, or being like, the other thing I was saying a lot was like, I don't know how many times I've said it, but that combo was amazing. Like, even both on stream and off stream, I was talking to people like, I don't even know how many times I've said this, but like, seeing that happen was like insane. Like, it was crazy. But it was all sorts of cool stuff. Seeing, what was it, Seal in game 2, like stack drain so many times that he went up to 178 life. 100 was that's 178,000, right? Or how much is it total?
17,800.
There you go, 17,800. Just off of one, was it swing or block or something like that? I was like,
it was a swing.
Whoa, yeah. And then
because we go to sustain will, I believe.
And then go into the game after that with Shamimi. And then people started to be like, "Oh, this is the life gain GP," because in that game, the Chimimi, he got down to 1 or 2, right, and then came right back up to 22, and then just took the game after that. I was like, that was really impressive too.
Yeah, that was insane. Like, he had so many Resonators, and he finally like cleared enough, and like he finally had enough to just punch through and just enough damage. Like, that was a really good game too. They had some really good matches that I really enjoyed watching.
I was trying to pull the best stuff I could find, and then it was tough too, because it was like, okay, we had Shamimi and whatever he went against, right? I think it was like a Lucifer deck or something, or Lich deck, and that was Sam Shake on Shamimi. And I was like, okay, cool, whatever. And then someone had mentioned Shayla. I was like, okay, I'm going to go grab Shayla. I know Steph is on Shayla. Let's see if we can pull her on stream. And I'm like, hey, Todd, I'm going to pull Shayla. Who's Steph playing? Like, oh, I was playing Sam Shake on Shamimi. I'm like, well, dang it, I can't pull her. I was like, okay, I'll just pull this other guy, which is when Ryan fell in love with the name Joe, but Jough. I don't know if Joey heard that. He was like, I love this thing. He just go listen to that part. He was talking about it for the longest time. And then a couple matches later, I'm like, okay, I want to pull this now. I forget what it was. I was like, hey, Todd, do you have somebody playing a da-da-da? He's like, yeah, here it is. Oh, wait, they're playing Sam Shake next. I'm like, dang it, Sam. I guess, whatever, we're taking him. I had him on stream twice that day. And so going to the top 8 the next day, I'm like, yeah, we're not getting Sam. Sam's had his moment. I'm going to get this other one. So that's kind of how that all turned out. It was cracking me up.
No, unfortunately, I wasn't able to catch a lot of the actual games outside of the Seal and some of the others randomly, but it looked like it was some pretty interesting things, though. I feel like after the results of this GP, it might start. I think it might boil down to just a couple decks next time, which is still not bad. But this was a nice spread of. It was 6 rulers, but all 8 decks I think were all different. So it was a really good spread.
I stand on the belief of like when you have a new set come out like this and you have a sudden GP just take place the way it did. It's like you're gonna have this completely wild, crazy like meta trying to take place. And it's not till the actual event after that, or maybe the one after that, that it's like solidifies. Like here is actually where it is. You know, people go through and create the counter decks, but then they realize the counter decks don't work because it's like Ryan said at one point. I asked him his opinion on something. He's like, "Well, they make this deck to counter that, but as a result, they lose to everything else." Yeah. So it's like it starts to become this thing of structuring the deck just the right way. And I feel like if not next event, then the event after that, or if not the next week, then the week after this. Like it's when it's really going to start to be figured out and things come together. I think we said like 2 Canadian GPs, the Mexico one, and I'm not keeping track of Europe to see what they have going on, but I know they have some as well.
Yeah, and like it's crazy to think about like probably the most prevalent and strongest thing that we saw there was a whole Layla's altar combo, and it's like. What do players have to stop that, really? You know, it's like there's like right tricks kind of, and then there's I was talking to Oscar and Colin about it, and there's Keys' Call and Erendite. So it's like, is Shayla going to become like some kind of crazy deck coming in, or?
I think that's probably what Steph was thinking, because she ran Shayla. And her method was attempting to counter some of those decks, even though she already knew she lost hard to a certain other type of deck and things like that.
Right.
Machines was impressive too. We had that on stream and it did pretty well. I think it could have.
I like Machines.
Yeah.
I actually really like the Shayla deck too. I thought it was like really fast, surprisingly fast.
Yeah. Also, do you guys, Joey, like you guys being like California out there right now where you're at now, do you guys have Papa John's at all?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Joey, don't say I think so. Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
No, I was just asking because, like, Eros was there, and I know she's from, like, was it Northern California area, like, where y'all used to live? And she was like, oh, man, we don't have Papa John's, so she made sure to get it. I was like, just Papa John's.
Yeah, Papa John's isn't great. Literally, Pizza Hut and Domino's are leagues better than Papa John's.
Oh, I don't think they have Pizza Hut out there. Because Steph was asking in Pennsylvania or wherever we were, in Bethlehem, because we were getting food and she asked the waitress, like, oh, is it like a Pizza Hut like personal size? And Lay's like, Pizza Hut? Like, she had never heard of the place. Like, she like, I think it's enough for one person. She like, in the end, she like just trying to redirected the answer. I was like, do they not have Pizza Hut out here? not that that's great either. I'm just saying, it's like weird not to see a Pizza
Well, yeah,
Hut.
and that's kind of when, when you ask me, like, do we have Papa John's? I'm like, when's the last time I've eaten at a Papa John's, like, or a Pizza Hut? It's like, it's always,
But I'm excited to update my Lucifer deck. I want to do it. I want to do the stuff and do the things and experience it firsthand.
See, I wanted to play Isis and her whole new burn combo and stuff, and then I saw some of the life gain stuff people were doing. I was like, God, this is. I don't think this is gonna work. Like, I don't think she has the.
And I know it's not ISIS stuff, but it's the was it I forget his name because my brother's name's Joshua, so I get is it Ushua and heroic epic like combo instead of well it's a way to pronounce Joshua, so it's the same thing, but it's just Ushua. Yeah. But that combo inside of like a Lucifer deck, I thought that was pretty cool, like to see how.
Which combo?
Yeah, I thought that was super interesting.
It's Stephen Holsheiser's deck, and in his sideboard he had like 3 or 4 Ushuas and like 3 or 4 epic stories. I'm sorry, heroic epics, and heroic epic just cheats in Ushua. Ushua comes in, searches the deck, and he'd either hit like a Stem or Athenia off of it and put her into play.
What does heroic epic do?
Puts a card with the whatever costs into the field, but at the end of turn, I think it destroys it. I have to look up exact wording on it, but
that's the red black card, right?
Yeah, right, red black.
Oh, I see. So it plays that, gets into Ushua, and then searches into a Misty or an Astema or something, or Athena.
Yeah. So it's 3 costs, red, black, and avoids. As you may put a resonator from your hand in the field at the next end of turn, return that to its owner's hand.
That's really good because you also get to swing with Ushua, and you hopefully, if you're playing like some kind of red stuff, you can also swing with whatever other red dude you get in. I mean, he's probably trying to hit, Athena's.
Well, yeah, he was hitting those instead, and I remember on one of them, he actually in hand only had an option between Layla and Skeleton Horde. Unfortunately, at a point where Layla didn't really even matter anymore. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, it was just cool to be able to watch some of that, some people's ideas just come through, and it was neat.
Yeah, they were ramping so fast. Like
they
had like 10 stones by like turn 5 or 4 or something.
I was telling Oscar it's going to be interesting because I didn't even think about the ramp inside of darkness decks, and then you have this sort of bursty ramp of light decks as well. So I think we're finally going to see cards that are high cost get played, but also we're going to see these just sort of giant explosion decks that burn brighter, I think, than probably red aggro decks can right now, because red aggro, it puts out a lot of medium-sized dudes that do a lot of little damage and stuff like that, and if in the exact same time span, with the exception of turn 1 and maybe 2, black and light can do the same thing times 4, then like what is plus being able to passively run control and removal and stuff like that, like what does red aggro have against that? Which we saw hints of. Joey Schilling was still able to do good with his Keurig, but also we're in a new format. I don't know if Keurig is as viable anymore, honestly. I mean, we'll see, but I think it'll be really interesting to see the types of decks come out, because we've always seen this nice even spread of, like, you make a deck, you have this sort of, depending on the type of deck, you have X amount of 1 cost, 2 costs, 3 costs, and then you have a couple 4 cost, and depending on the deck, maybe you'll have the 5 cost Mosasaurus or some sort of 5 cost like Mistletoe that is specific to that deck. But now, especially in the Darkness deck, all of a sudden you just be like, here's a bunch of 4 costs and 5 costs. Here's a 6 cost, that 6 cost red card. Here's a lot of high cost cards, and you don't have to worry about them being dead cards in your hand. So it'll be, I think, has the potential to be a really cool, unique format, but depending on where it goes, it could also lean really badly in one direction. I hope it doesn't, but we could see a very interesting format going forward.
Mm-hmm. I was interested to see the kind of like Chimimi decks that were popping up, especially with Arwen and with like the other like really quick people were playing the Lorite's Disciples again and stuff like that. So I thought that was really interesting. Yeah,
and we had 2 on stream. Sam had his with whatever he was running. It was running different stuff like I guess a toolkit as they saw, or a toolbox. But I know Mike's was more like Chimimi based, like actual Chimimis and Beast were in
like the eagle Miis and the other Miis and
the pygmy hippos and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's really interesting.
Yeah,
but probably wrap it up there.
Yeah, exciting times. I enjoyed it. I definitely would do it again. Very exhausting and tiring. And it was fun seeing everybody and meeting some people. And like I met some people for the first time, like Mike Rance, and both the Miles brothers. Sam, just different all sorts. Bill and everybody else that was there, like pretty much for the first time, which is pretty neat. And a lot of these are personalities you see active in the global group, so it was cool to actually just meeting them in person. Cal.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're kind of like I don't want to say legends because that'll inflate their egos quite a bit, but yeah, they're like the top players and the pioneers of Forceful kind of.
Yeah.
It's even more inflating them. There you go.
And congrats to Derek. Apologies, I don't remember how to pronounce your last name. I know it started with an M. For winning the event with the Brunhild, that was just primarily a black deck, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. And I was gonna say something else with that, but
what you're thinking about it. If you guys want to see the results from this weekend, I do have them on the website. I need to update the buttons with images. So if you go look at if you go look at the season 5 GPs and you're going towards the bottom, you'll see 4 boxes with no images on it. The first one's the Italian GP, which I need to add. I haven't added that yet. The second one was Australia's GP. Third would be Canada's GP, which took place the same weekend as the Bethlehem GP. So the very final button will be the Bethlehem GP. If you just want to click that one to see the results from that weekend. But
yeah, and also don't forget, guys, if you're wanting to get that magnetic playmat, first 25 people get that. So hurry and do that now if you've been on the fence. And on the Patreon podcast, get to hear me talk about the Buy a Box promo. Okay, bye.
See ya. Hey, he's hiding his opinion behind a paywall. All right, bye.
Yeah, I am. I'm done with people getting mad at me for now, even though I was right.
All right, we'll see y'all later.